Just picked this up last night and found out on page 18 of the National Enquirer, you think that we have bad mornings. Look at this. Look at this. How would you like to stick your head in a lion's mouth every morning?
Holy cow.
Something? How would you like to do that?
What a way to earn a living.
And how would you like to have your sister do it? That's my sister, Pat.
You told me that you had a sister who was a lion tamer.
Yeah, she travels around with the Carson Barnes Circus, and I hope that we can get her here on the show sometime.
Have you
She's
ever
terrific.
actually seen her do that?
Yes, and it scared me to death. It scared me to death. And my mother went down to watch her do it for the first time and couldn't watch.
Can you imagine having a daughter who puts her head in a lion's mouth every day? How did your mother react to it? Now is it all right?
She said she wished that she would be back in the days when all Pat did was play the stereo too loud.
She's made the name Gloria a household word, and she makes fans from age 5 to 60 come right up out of their chairs when they see her in concert. Tim and I are delighted to welcome Laura Branigan to our show this morning. Laura?
Good morning, Laura.
Can we clip you up? Is that our
You're going to need a microphone.
This one could be tough. Well,
even with a voice as great as yours, you have to have a microphone.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
Do you do much of this? The touring the talk show circuit?
I've been doing a few of them.
Yeah.
2 years ago, you didn't do any of them at all, right? Laura Branigan was
right.
waiting on. How else has your life changed now that you're a big recording star?
Well, what happens is you lose a lot of your private life. You don't have much time to yourself. You're really on the go constantly. I just got off tour, finished at Carnegie Hall.
Oh,
and,
nice.
you know, I mean, it's really constant. So I'm starting my new album next month. And
Now, there are a lot of things that are different about the way that your career has grown. One of them is that you've taken hits that were, well, they were hits in Europe, virtually unknown songs here. Gloria, for instance, and were able to put your own touches to them. How did you find Gloria, and then how did you find Solitaire?
Yeah.
Gloria was an Italian song. And my producer, Jack White, is German and had asked me, you know, brought the song to me. And it was a big hit 5 years ago in Italy, and asked me how I liked it. And I really felt it had a certain magic, but I felt it needed the American.
You gave it the American. And there's an interesting story, not in just how you found the song, Gloria, and in Solitaire as well, but Solitaire itself tells a story. What's the story that's being told here? Set it up for us a little bit.
The story is about a girl, perhaps me or someone else. I think everybody's gone through this feeling at one time, who is really in love with this guy, and he's just not giving it back to her, and he leaves, and she's left there, and it takes her a while, but she gathers all her strength and goes on with her own life. And then he comes back, and she says it's too late. We did it with real film instead of video. I think a lot of the videos are done in much more of a nouveau way, you know, nouveau artsy way, but with a song like Solitaire, because it is so emotional, we really couldn't do that. So we tried to come out with a real little movie.
Do you stay very close to the musical side of that in terms of producing and all of that and the sound?
Yes, very close. I'm there all the time in the studio, and you know, it's when I sing a song, I'm so emotionally tied in with it, so that I can't really separate myself. I have to be a part of every inch of it.
What about the emotional side of it, though? You look so intense in that clip. When you really look angry. Is there anything autobiographical in your songs, in that song in particular?
Yeah, I think so. I've felt that emotion before.
I think, as you said, almost everybody has. In reading about you last night, you said that the commercial Laura is one thing, but there's a side of you that wants to do very much what Piaf did in terms of moving people.
Yes.
Will the commercial side of this business allow you to do that?
Oh, definitely. I think it's just a matter of, I think what I'm doing now is, you know, you have to really solidify yourself in the public eye before you can, you're building up a relationship with your public, so that once you start getting to know each other, you know, it's like a love affair. You can't throw out everything at once. And once you get to know each other more and more, you start exposing more and more of yourself. I feel that, you know, first it was Gloria, then Solitaire, which was more emotional, and now I have the ballad out, How Am I Supposed to Live Without You, which is really a real heart-wrencher.
Did you always feel in your heart, when it wasn't being wrenched, that stardom was just a matter of time? You got the classic break, singing at Reno Sweeney's in New York. Big record moguls saw you, signed you to a contract. Were you surprised when things started to take off?
No, because I felt I had the talent. I felt that was my life. I was determined and obsessed, and nothing was going to stop me. And by the time it came, I was really ready. You know, I was with Atlantic Records for almost a year before we did find Gloria.
All right, if you are that obsessed, how are you combining this career, which takes you on the road so many days a year, with the marriage to Larry Krutak? He's here. He's an attorney in New York,
That's right.
How do you combine that?
It takes adjustment. You know, it was a shock at first because I didn't know I would be traveling so much. But I think there are people all over the world that do it, and it's amazing how the human being can adjust to it.
What kind of phone bills do you have?
Very large.
The story on how you have arrived at superstar status is enough to inspire a lot of people to keep working on their own careers, because there are a lot of people waiting tables in New York City and Boston and everywhere else right now waiting for that big break. What would you say to them, because they look to you as a model?
I would say, first of all, make sure you have the talent. You know, you really have to be honest with yourself as to whether you do have the talent. And then you have to be ready not to be discouraged. You can't let yourself get discouraged, and you can't have anything else to fall back on. You can't say, well, if this doesn't work out, I'll take typing so that I can be, you know, a secretary if I have to.
It's all or nothing?
It's all or nothing.
How much control should an artist be prepared to have in their own career?
I think almost complete control. You really have to, at first, of course, you listen to other people more than you do as you go on, but you have to keep your ears open all the time and learn from everything around you, so that when success really starts, you can be in control, and you have to start making your own decisions, and because you really have to guide the people around you.
What's next? I heard some talk of a movie. Are you going to get involved in a movie now?
I'm going back to New York today
Great.
and have a screen test for a film that's coming out.
You know, it occurs to me in the days of punk rock and new wave and all of that, where perhaps the images aren't altogether clean. You have a very clean image. Do you ever think about being a role model for particularly young women who love your music?
I guess I am in a way now. You know, I didn't think of it before. I never thought about my image. I just tried to be myself out there. But I think it's about time that there was someone out there that wasn't afraid to just come out with the emotion and not have to put up a big facade, you know, that real... I think women in rock and roll always felt they had to come out with that tough rock and roll image.